I'm Lisa Saran. I'm a local organizer, activist, co-founder of Indivisible Napa. When Dina asked me to be one of the speakers today, she gave me a couple of choices of subjects, and she said, can you talk about the Supreme Court or the Senate? And I said, well, I'm fluent in both, and they go together nowadays. So what I want to do is give you a rundown of, give you the background of why we are where we are right now. The Republican majority Senate, led by the vile Mitch McConnell, started dancing with glee moments after RBG drew her last breath. They were going to get to nominate another Supreme Court justice. Now you need to understand the background. McConnell's entire agenda since becoming majority leader of the Senate has been to pack the federal courts with judges who would rule for the conservative agenda. During Obama's presidency, over 110 federal seats were not filled because the Senate would not hold hearings for any of Obama's nominations. When Scalia died, McConnell and Lindsey Graham refused to hold hearings for Merrick Garland because it was an election year. Upon Trump becoming president, and it's important to remember that 45 did not win the popular vote and won the Electoral College with a total of 73,000 votes among formerly blue states. Neil Gorsuch was immediately nominated and approved to replace Scalia. Trump and McConnell have placed over 200 federal judges in the last 3 years. These are lifetime appointments. Many of the appointees are in their 40s and 50s, guaranteeing a conservative majority in the federal court system for at least a generation. And many of them are not qualified judges for the federal court system. The Republicans have packed the courts, the very thing they are accusing the Democrats and Biden, if he wins, of doing. Do we agree with that?
No.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Remind people of this whenever you hear, and you will hear in the next couple of weeks, remind people of this when they say Biden will pack the courts. These people do not know what they are talking about. It's a damn shame that a president who did not win the popular vote has made 3 Supreme Court nominations that do not represent the population of this country. McConnell then convinced Justice Kennedy to retire early so he could push Kavanaugh through. This was just a little over 2 years ago. Many of us were over at Veterans Park protesting the Kavanaugh nomination. How many of you were there? Yes. And that nomination took the court back to a 5-4 conservative-leaning court. With the untimely death of RBG, the court is now 5-3 leaning conservative. I want you to understand this particularly important fact. It is not necessary to nominate and appoint a justice before the election. McConnell wants to be certain to pack the court before they all lose power. And under Amy Coney Barrett's appointment, the court will now be 6-3 conservative, and many of our civil and social rights will be under attack. During my lifetime, now I don't feel that old, but this has all happened in my lifetime. 1954, Brown versus Board of Education, creating desegregation of public schools. 1965, Voting Rights Act. 1965, also Griswold allowing a married couple to use contraception legally. 1966, Miranda. 1967, Loving allowing interracial marriage. 1971, busing to promote racial integration in public schools. 1973, Roe versus Wade, protecting a woman's right to have an abortion. 2012, Sebelius defending the ACA as constitutional. And that the ACA is going to be challenged in the Supreme Court November 10th, exactly a week after the election. And one of the reasons they're pushing Amy Coney Barrett through right now is to defeat ACA once and for all.
So stupid.
And also in 2013, Defense of Marriage Act, allowing same-sex marriages. All of these civil rights and social protections will be challenged by a conservative, originalist court. I may lose all of these rights that have occurred in my lifetime. It's no secret that the conservative agenda is to do away with Affordable Care Act and other of these civil and social rights. Alito and Thomas just last week said that they were going to look at same-sex marriage again. So they have an agenda to take away the things that have made our life equal. Are we going to let that happen?
No!
We may not be able to stop the ramrodding of ACB through the Senate, but we will not let it happen without standing up to it, making our voices heard that this is an illegitimate, pure power grab by the Republicans, and we will make them pay for their poisoning of our democracy.
Yeah.
Here's where the Senate comes in. First, we call our senators, California senators, both of them. Kamala is still our senator, and her office is still taking our calls and counting our voices, and demand they do everything they can to delay the confirmation vote that is scheduled for next Thursday. The easiest way to do this is through ResistBot. And now I'm going to ask you to do something. You're going to be an activist right here and now. Take out your phones. I mean it. Take them out. This is easy to do. Open your messages. You're going to send your text to 50409. 50409. Your message is these three letters: RBG. Then you're going to follow the prompts, and you will be sending letters to both senators urging them no confirmation hearings or votes until after Inauguration Day 2021. You can do this every day until next Thursday, and I ask you, if you do nothing else besides vote between now and next Thursday, use ResistBot every morning. I do it while I have my morning coffee. You can do it while you have your smoothie, your hot lemon water, whatever. But it's a good reminder to pull out your phone and do ResistBot. 50409, the message is RBG. Second, we're going to make them pay for this unacceptable and reprehensible power grab. We're going to fire them and send them packing.
Yeah! Woohoo!
I want you to know I've been working since the day after November 8th in 2016. And I have been working across the country on Senate races. In fact, I was going to move to Kentucky to work against Mitch McConnell, and COVID prevented that from happening. But I want you to know we can take back the Senate. And where is the Supreme Court where the Supreme Court justices come from? They come from the Senate. So if we have a Democratic majority, we can have a say in the future of the Supreme Court. They'll accuse us of packing it, but what do we care? We're just doing what they already did. Every day, it's looking better and more likely that we will flip the Senate. We just need 4 seats to flip to Democrats to regain the majority of the Senate. 3 when we win the presidency, because the VP can cast the tie-breaking votes. Here are the Senate races that are at stake in this election. Now, I'm going to read these off to you, but you can get all of them on our website, indivisiblenapa.com. On our front page is the list of all the Senate races that are at risk. Teresa Greenfield against Joni Ernst in Iowa.
Woo!
Dr. Barbara Bullier against Roger Marshall in Kansas. Jamie Harrison against Lindsey Graham in South Carolina. Cal Cunningham against Tom Tillis in North Carolina.
Get rid of them.
I want you to know these races that I'm talking about right now are likely or tied. And we have 2 weeks left to make a difference. Dr. Al Gross in Alaska. John Hickenlooper against Cory Gardner in Colorado.
Yeah.
Steve Bullock against Steve Daines in Montana.
Yeah.
John Ossoff against David Perdue in Georgia.
Yeah.
M.G. Hager against John Cornyn in Texas.
Get rid of him.
Reverend Ralph Warnock against Kelly Loeffler in Georgia.
Yeah.
Sarah Gideon against Susan Collins in
Yeah.
Maine. And last but not least, Mark Kelly against Martha McSally in Arizona.
I know, I'm gonna switch over there.
How do you help these Senate races that are out of state? Phone bank, text bank, donate. Indivisible Napa, and we're not the only ones, have daily phone banks to the various Senate races across the country. We also have daily text banks, and on our webpage, you can find out how to donate to these races. They are still, and they are in order of the preference of who to donate to and who can get the most bang for your buck. All these options are on the website. IndivisibleNapa.com under Take Action. Make the Republican senators pay with the loss of their Senate seats by working with the various organizations that are committed to flipping the Senate. And let me remind you, the most important reason to flip the Senate. President Biden will need a Democratic majority Senate to enact any of the changes he's going to have to make to restore our democracy. Make sure you helped him get that. So, vote early, vote early, vote already. How many of you have already voted? Yes, yes, okay. And you know the primary ballot drop box is 1 block away. So if you have your ballot with you today, you can drop it off on your way home. I urge every one of you and to talk to everyone you know, your grocery clerk, your neighbors. Make sure that they are Democrats. You don't want to urge the Republicans necessarily. But most importantly, urge your friends in the swing states, Arizona, Colorado, Montana, Alaska, Iowa, Kansas, Maine, Kentucky, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Work with us. Don't leave it to someone else. This is your democracy. Own it. Cherish it. Work to save it. This may be your last chance. And last thing I want to say is, let's take a step towards ending the corrosive partisanship that is destroying our nation. Going forward, we are going to be pro-democracy. We do not need to be anti-Trump or anti-anything. We need to be pro-democracy. Do not give any of that oxygen. Do the things that will restore our democracy. Fight for our democracy. And here's the Choose Democracy pledge. We will vote. 2, we will refuse to accept election results until all the votes are counted. 3, we will non-violently take to the streets if a coup is attempted. 4, if we need to, we will shut down this country to protect the integrity of the democratic process.
Yay! Yay!
Before I end, I just want to share with you what I consider the best news I've read all week. After the dueling town halls on Thursday night, Rupert Murdoch, who owns the news conglomerate News Corp, and which owns Fox News, said that he believes there will be a landslide victory for Biden.
Well, yay!
What that tells me is if Rupert Murdoch is done with Trump, a lot of his donors are.
Yes, that's
His
so true.
campaign is broke. He's in trouble. This is considered his farewell tour right now. And you need to not stop working, not buy into the fact that it's a done deal, because it isn't. But I can see light at the end of the tunnel. If Rupert Murdoch is done with Trump, we can be done with him too. Just don't stop working. And we have signups for phone banks and text banks at our table right over here. If you haven't done it yet, I teach phone banks, Val teaches text banks. It's easy peasy. We do it every day. Thank you. Vote.
Yay!